This video lesson covers the process of retail site selection for a book company in San Francisco, as that case is presented in the GIS tutorial for marketing book. Better Books is a San Francisco bookstore, a family-owned firm with 2 successful stores in the area. It counts several collectors among its customers, which means that these can be upscale customers who are willing to pay more for a rare book to add their collection. The data you'll be using is primarily from an address list of loyalty club members, and you'll use this information to help this firm select a site for its 3rd store in the San Francisco area. To do that, you would want to identify a site that minimizes cannibalization of sales of the 2 existing stores. That is, that the sales in the 3rd store do not unduly cut into the sales at the existing store, but you also want a site in which the customer base of the new store matches that of the most successful existing store. You'll apply GIS to this analysis by using ArcView to identify the buying patterns of club members at the 2 stores, to look at various ways of determining and defining market areas and using those to create demographic profiles. You'll then evaluate 6 different sites that are available and identify the one that is most attractive and recommend that as the site for expansion. You'll begin in task 1 by looking at the demographic and competitive features of the San Francisco market area. So you'll map where the 2 existing stores are, you'll look at the level of sales in those stores, and also you will look at them relative to distributions of important demographic and socioeconomic characteristics in the market area. You'll produce maps like this in which the 2 stores are listed, as well as you see point features in terms of triangles for competing stores and the size of those stores in the area. And this is over a background map of block groups in the San Francisco area presented here on the basis of the percentage of adults over 25 in the block group that have some level of college education. The darker ones are the ones with the higher levels. In task 2, you'll analyze the specific customer characteristics of market areas in the stores by looking at the distribution of buying patterns of customers in the store, developing a simple ring for each store and looking at the demographic and socioeconomic characteristics of the people who live within those 1-mile rings of the 2 stores. So on the right in the map, you see the market area rings and the block groups that are selected for inclusion in the Steiner store, the one at the top, and on the left you'll see the attribute table in which the values for the demographic measures included in the data set are listed for those block groups. And you'll produce a summary table such as this one, which captures the characteristics in demographic and socioeconomic terms of the customers or the customer base who live around that store. In task 3, you'll look at other market area models, and you will also select a target store. You will add drive time and percentage of sale market areas to your analysis, and you'll look at some reports that are based on those and select the best approach to doing this, as well as the model store. So on the left-hand side, in the very lightly colored polygons beneath the 1-mile rings, you see some drive time data that gives you an idea of the number of customers within a minute and within 3 minutes drive time of each of the 2 stores. And on the right hand side you see market areas determined by percentage of sales. So in each case 60% of the store sales comes within the first polygon, and 80% of sales comes within the second polygon for each of the 2 stores. The 1-mile rings are offered here as well to give you comparative information on how each of those 2 ways of defining market area compares to the 1-mile ring that you used initially. You will now, after having decided which store is going to be your model store, turn your attention to the ones that are available, the properties that are there and open for you to acquire and use as a site for your 3rd store. So you'll identify those properties and their locations. You will eliminate from consideration those that are zoned improperly or are too close to existing stores and therefore would cannibalize sales. And then you will create 1-mile rings around those stores because you don't have any customer data for them, and select the property that you would recommend for the 3rd store. So here's what your analysis will look like. In this case, you have 1-mile ring around 3 potential sites for the 3rd store, as well as the 2 existing stores included on the same map in the San Francisco area. Just as you produced a demographic profile of each of the two existing stores, you will, in this part of the exercise, create similar profiles for each of the three available stores, available sites for the third store, and you will use this information to select the ones you think best matches the profile of the model store that you've created. Then finally, in step 5, you'll culminate the exercise by reviewing all the information that you've pulled together and the data on the various available properties in their market areas. Select one of those as your recommended site for the third store and create a map document which supports that decision. So here you have a sample of the type of map document that you'll create with a zoomed-in map of the selected available site that you're going to recommend. So these are some basic applications in site selection in a retail setting. This is one of the most common applications of Business GIS, and so there are a number of additional applications that fall into this category. Some of those are, if you have an awful lot of outlets already in place, as Gold's Gym does, you can use these types of tools to measure the ability of stores to draw customers to them away from competitors, and also avoid cannibalization of different stores, or in their case, different workout centers. You can also use daytime population, as Chase Manhattan Bank did in their urban New York project, where they found that most of their business came from people who worked in the area near their locations rather than those who lived there. And then Huff's penetration model allows the analyst to determine the exact percentage of potential customers in a market area who are actual customers of the enterprise, as is done here in the Credit Union of Texas application. And then ESRI's business analyst, which we've mentioned in other contexts, automates this procedure and provides wizards and data tools that perform many of the functions that you have in this exercise, but do it with more precision and much more ease of use. So that concludes this video lesson on retail site selection using Better Books in San Francisco as the sample.